there, Mad Monday, Munters and Mutants worldwide, and welcome into the Mad Monday podcast. Thanks to the legends at 4 and 20 Pies. My name is Tino Fa'asua Manaia, and I'm joined in the studio by Lachlan Keesey.
Oh, come on, man. That doesn't even sound remotely related.
What's better than Keesey Vasa Sheck?
Well, or Charles Nickel Keesey, you can have that if you want.
Chance Nickel Keesey's us. I don't want it. But I appreciate it. Let's rip straight into the number one topic on all Warriors fans' lips this week. Pour one out for Mitch Barnett.
Yeah.
I would like to pitch a national day of mourning for Mitch Barnett's ACL. I think, I was going to say this Friday, but I'm actually already off this Friday and you're working my shift for me anyway, so maybe we should, I don't know, Monday. You'd be on board with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
A national day of mourning for Mitch Barnett's ACL.
It's really interesting because obviously last week we ran this relay at the Hodaki radio station, and I let my team down by blowing a quad.
Yeah.
And the level of devastation that I had to cover one breakfast show and had let 3 blokes down, compared to the level of devastation he must feel after letting, you're not letting it down. Your body's failed in a way.
No, I guess the difference is he didn't quit. I
didn't quit either. I kept going.
Jace did,
yeah, but like it's amazing how let down I felt. How much I felt I had let everyone down compared to how he must feel halfway through one of the best seasons the Warriors have had. He's the captain. He's playing for New South Wales, and then your knee goes. Just called a very innocuous sort of way it happened too, which
freak
sucks.
Incident. I did note he walked off the field.
You can though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's not like a strained quad, is it? Where you need a wheelchair. In St. John's.
But I think Achilles you definitely can't, but I think knee injury you can walk off.
Kobe walked off the court with a Achilles. In fact, the only time I've seen a wheelchair used in one of those incidents was when Paul Pierce shit himself in the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's right. The Poos game.
Joe Jury did suspect that you had actually shit yourself, and that's why you'd been taken off the track.
Yeah, why don't we just chuck that rumour in there as well? Not only had I let everyone down and lost the race, I also pooed my pants.
He shit himself. Look, I didn't expect to be back on the relay here, but since we are, that was always how that game was. This is what I was trying to explain to you guys in the lead up to it. It had nothing to do with who was faster. It was just who can survive the 400 metres.
Yeah.
That was all it was ever going to be. Anyway, back to Mitch. I've heard people saying, and these are casual fans of the Warriors, I think, and I reckon it's people that didn't watch the game and haven't seen the injury, who are like, well, if he didn't play Origin, would this have happened?
No, 100% it would have still happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all in the movement of the leg. He landed weird. It was slightly crooked.
He was jumping.
Nothing to do with Origin.
No, he was jumping over a guy who had just been tackled, legs out to the side. Like, if you're going to do an ACL, that's sort of how you do it.
Also, who gives a fuck whether it has anything to do with Origin? You're going to try to tell Mitch Barnett, the second Warrior we've had in ages. I think the second ever to play for New South Wales. Maybe. You're going to tell him that he shouldn't have played Origin?
No.
Come on, man.
No, exactly.
This is rugby league here, Manaia.
But it is heartbreaking because this is a guy who, and I said this earlier this week, there is no God. Mitch Barnett, since he's come to the club, has committed wholeheartedly. How many players have we seen go, I actually don't like living in New Zealand, I want out on compassionate grounds? Mitch never did that. He doubled down.
He did the opposite. He was like, fuck it, I'm moving to New Zealand. What's the worst place in Auckland to live? I'm moving there. I'm going to get a townhouse with no off-street parking. I'm going to have the full Auckland experience.
I'm going to sit in traffic.
I'm going to shit in traffic.
Mitch Barnett is shitting in traffic.
He is. He's intentionally moved to the opposite side of Auckland.
To shit in traffic.
He's making it as hard as he can for himself to prove that it can be done.
The Northwestern is covered in feces because Mitch Barnett is shitting in traffic.
Shitting in traffic daily.
He's Daly Cherry Evans shitting in traffic. But the northern beaches are covered in shit because Daly Cherry. No.
But this is a good point though. He's come here and he's, and we're over here trying to attract like a star fullback or a star half or something. We've attracted a star front rower who's shitting in traffic and leading by example.
Yeah, he put his hand up to be our captain.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So many other Australians have come over here and been like, nah, bugger that. And what was his reward for that? An historic run. No, 2 historic runs for the Warriors into State of Origin, back-to-back years. And right now, at the peak of his powers, I think he's 31. He does his ACL, and that for a rugby league player. I mean, Kane Williamson came back in 6 months, but this will be a year for Mitch.
Yeah, but Kane Williamson's not running it straight off the back fence.
No, this is the thing.
Yeah.
And being a batter is very north-south. He only runs in one direction, whereas Mitch is tasked with tackling the most ferocious athletes in the Southern Hemisphere week after week. Now, he will come back from this.
He will be back next season, but how worried are you? Because I'm not as worried as if this had happened in the first game of the season, I would have been like, oh, God. But now that I have seen how the Warriors play, and I know there's this first next man up mentality, which has been great, but I think when a guy like Mitch Barnett goes down, but you still have James Fisher-Harris, Kurt Capewar, and also now Aaron Clark. Like, there are these guys in there.
Yeah.
Dellin, even though Dellin's been pretty average since coming back,
Bit of ring rust.
He's still finding his way into form. Even him, a real vocal dude out in the backs, and having these guys that can still keep the wires, especially like people score on us, we're under the posts, certain guys are yelling and making sure we're holding standards up. There are enough of those guys at the moment that Mitch's loss isn't the end of the world.
Well, and the other thing I would say, and have said, and will say again, is like you said, one of his biggest things is leadership, his mongrel, and the way that his DNA rubs on the rest of the team. He didn't die. He's still around, and he'll still be around the club. So that stuff's still going to be there. Once he gets fit enough, why wouldn't you have him running the water bottles out?
Do you think he'll be shitting in traffic every day to come and spread his DNA around the team, even while injured?
To rub off a bit of his DNA on the rest of the team. I can see him doing that.
Yeah, right. Well, that's good. I hope so.
100%. You think you're beating Mitch Barnett in a bench press competition in the next 6 months, you're outside your fucking head. That's all he's going to be doing is training his ass off for a country that's adopted him. A country that he's adopted.
He's adopted us, man.
He has.
And we've welcomed him with open arms. Can I also apologise for last season? There was a Freudian slip and we started calling him Bitch Barnett.
It
was mostly you.
You started calling him Bitch Barnett.
But can I just say, that was now the thought of that sickens me.
Oh, now it does.
Because
but last year you were...
it was funny, right? It's funny because you accidentally said it and really doubled down on it.
So you know what? One of us, and I'm pretty sure it was you, but said it before we went and interviewed him, and we both, I think we had a chat beforehand. It's like, hey, look, can we just for the next week stop saying it because one of us is going to say it in front of him?
Yeah, and it'll probably be the guy who asked Jazz Tavanga how his rehab's going, even though he wasn't injured. So look, I think Jackson Ford comes straight into starting. He's improved a lot lately.
He's been great.
The dumb errors have gone.
He's been great.
So I'm pretty confident he can step up. It also means that Leka Halasima goes from the bench back to starting at 11 again.
Yeah.
I actually quite liked him off the bench because he comes out and just has these devastating runs. But he's great. Vaimonga is looking so great at the moment.
But I will say Leka's probably only in second row because... Rocco Berry did his hammy, which means Kurt Capewar's into the centre.
So you're fucking joking, did he?
Yeah, so I suspect that once he's back, then that will push Leka back to the
you're
bench.
Right.
But
I completely missed that. Rocco Berry has had a shocking run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his brains came out halfway through that last game. Like, he got one of the most horrific... In fact, it's the second worst cut on a head that I've seen. The worst I saw, Joe Jury and I went and watched the Notorious Pantsman Joel Harrison and the Mad Dogs last year, and some guy ran in for a try and just got kneed right in the head, and it basically split him from his eyebrows around to the back of his neck. It was like you could have peeled his head off his skull. It was that bad, and he was just lying in a pool of blood. That's grass league footy for you.
Did he play on?
Grassroots. Fuck no. No. They scooped his brain back into his head and took him off.
So Rocco Berry is out hamstring.
Yeah, hamstrung.
Fuck out, I'm sitting here weekly being like, can we please just do a backline move of sorts and it's so hard to even start working on that shit when every week we have different centres.
Well, cruel irony, last week was the first week where we had everyone available to pick from. And so now all of a sudden, immediately we turn around, Rocco Berry's gone now, Mitch Barnett's gone as well. It didn't seem like Rocco Berry's was bad, although he had done that earlier this season as well.
We didn't have Ali Leotawa.
No, he was the only one. But
so even then,
Yeah, no, that's it. I will say, I feel like Roger and Dallin, because they were out for so long, there was always is it just a bit of ring rust? Will they get their legs underneath them again? I think they will. I think they have, because Roger scored
a double
on the weekend. And now...
And Dallin scored off an awesome Metcalf try to start the game.
Yep.
Kick, sorry.
And, yeah, which, again, that was one of those ones where it's like, that's repeatable, we can do that. But what I was going to say is... At the end of the show, we'll talk maybe a bit about SuperCoach. If you hover over the little information button on Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on SuperCoach this very morning, it says Hot player to watch. So we play Sharks, then we've got a bye. After that bye, go and get him if you need a try-scoring winger. SuperCoach are describing Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in the year of our Lord 2025 as a try-scoring winger. And I think he is.
Well,
I think he's back.
Well, what I like to see is that we did go left twice to Rog, and which resulted in tries, one of which was another Metcalf kick, which I feel like that's the one thing that's been missing, right? Like Chanel Harris-Tavita,
Yeah.
Sorry, stat was Chanel Harris-Tavita's leading the Warriors with try assists. You think he's got like 13 or 14 or something, which is cool.
We've only, yeah.
And Metcalf is leading the tries in Warriors. He's got 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So when you look at those stats and you go, wow, the Wars halves are firing. They are, but they're not at the same time.
Because we don't score bugger all tries.
Because we don't score bugger all tries. However, in this game, like I said, Metcalf, that beautiful little chip kick, perfect, like 1 meter out from the try line, so they have to leap from the field of play to catch it. Dallin comes over, Alex Johnson brings it down. That is repeatable.
Yes.
And then on the left side, same thing again. Lecker was the one that caught it and spilt it backwards, but they ended up being shoveled on really quickly, nicely from Chanel to Roger, score in the corner.
Which we've scored a lot of those.
And scoring out wide is a sign of a team whose backline, like, sure, forwards busting over under the post is good, but scoring out wide is what we want to see more of. We need more of that to happen. And also, added fact, Metcalf can only slot conversions from out wide.
Yeah, I've got a theory about our kicking. Obviously,
We suck at it?
My theory is we suck at it. No, I think, well, I mean, it is, but I reckon Luke Metcalf is a big game player. He makes big game plays.
Correct.
He will miss from straight out in front, but he will slot it from the sideline. And I think from the middle of the field, either Adam Pompey kicks it from the middle third of the field, and then from the edges, Luke Metcalf kicks it, or we go JAB styles. Try scorer converts their own try if it's within the middle third of the field.
Well, you're going to have the same amount of chance of it going over as we currently have.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
And-
I agree.
And I tell you what, nothing can make you feel better, and we saw Latrell Mitchell do it, than scoring a try and then converting it yourself and then marching back to halfway where your whole team's standing there. It's like, yeah, daddy's home.
Latrell Mitchell, and let's move on to the actual game itself, which we've kind of been doing anyway. But you said before we started that you weren't feeling bad about the Rabbitohs comeback.
Nah, not at all. Even as it was happening, obviously a bit squeaky bum when they got within a try and there was only a couple of minutes left. But I don't feel bad about that because, first of all, this is how we win games. We win turgid, torrid affairs and we choke other teams out, even when it looks like they're going to come back. We saw it at Magic Round. We were there when it was happening.
That's right.
Against the Cowboys. And this is how we've been doing it all season. The second thing is, should a team feel bad that one of the best players in the game had one of the best performances of their career?
This is 100%. So the Warriors, first of all, scored 36 points. That's the most points we've scored like all season. We suck at scoring points. So that's great. The Rabbitohs were down by 3 tries, and then Latrell Mitchell threw 2 of the scuzziest long balls you'll ever see. To Alex, the first one, the first double skip pass, he threw it, and the back rower, it might have been Hubner, I can't remember who it was. He had to move his head out of the way of this ball,
Kill
and
shot.
it floated across the face. Dallin was slight, like an inch in.
Yeah.
He didn't jam in. He was an inch in. Alex Johnson had to reach right out, caught it tiptoed along. It was beautiful.
It was sick. It was like Dallin in that situation is thinking in his mind like, it'll go through the hands and I'll have time to get out here, or I could help on the inside. As long as he doesn't throw one of the greatest passes we've seen in probably about 6 months.
Do you reckon that's what he's thinking in his head? This should be perfect as long as he doesn't throw
That's it.
the greatest pass.
It's my theory about Mike Gatting when Shane Warne bowled the ball of the century at him.
Yes.
Because I think that was the first ball of the session maybe, or even the day. And so I feel like Mike Gatting was probably a little bit hungover and he would have gone, look, as long as he doesn't bowl the ball of the century at me, we should be sweet here. And then out of the hand, he would have gone, fuck me.
Well,
there it is, ball of the century.
as it was coming towards us, oh, fuck, here it comes. So, like, Latrell,
But so he does that. Then the next one is the kick that Chance slides into touch.
he puts this ugly grubber on, like, the 4th through and just so happens to make Chance slide into touch.
By a blade of grass. In fact, the grass he kicked up was green, and I was at the Huapai Tavern on Sunday, and I go, "Oh, the bloody grass is green, mate. He's not out."
Then they challenged it. He was definitely out.
He was definitely fucking out.
And then the next one, they put up a bomb. It kind of was messy. He picked it up through another scucky ball out to Alex Johnson. And then
the next one, he scores a
he
try.
charges over. He is so good to watch, man. He is so exciting. And little hunch that I've got here, and in fact, I'm going to rely on it to save my SuperCoach season. I think the Bunnies are back.
Yeah.
Like, if they had won that game, they would have been 6th on the table.
Yeah.
They've got Wayne Bennett at the helm. They've got Cody Walker returning this week. Alex Johnson's healthy again. He's scored.
Whiten's back this week.
200 tries. He's on track to 212, I think, for Ken Irvine.
Yeah.
I think the Bunnies could potentially, especially if Latrell stays healthy and doesn't do anything stupid and plays like that, they could make some noise.
I think between buys and Origin, Latrell misses like 3 of the next 5 games or something.
Yeah.
So, but if he's in your team, he's going to go bang. The look on his face when he crashed over for that try that put them, and then he pointed back to halfway, like, you fellas go down there, I'm going to score the try, I'll convert the cunt, and then we'll go back and we'll do it again.
Fuck, he's good at kicking as well. And it's none of this like bring it round shit. It's just straight over the dot.
Yeah.
He is so good.
And when the the NRL Live, I think they're going to call it, the PlayStation game comes out.
Oh, yeah.
He's the first pick in the fantasy draft. I build my team around him.
I want him on the cover.
Oh, yeah, put him on the cover.
No, well, Metcalf's going to be on the cover.
Bunty will be on the cover.
He's going to get the Dally M.
I think that when you start your franchise mode, which I always used to do in Stacey Jones Rugby League, I'd make a guy who was 7 feet tall. He had a blonde afro so I could find him. and he would be ramped up to 99 on every single slider.
Does he have a funny name?
Maha Velo, which I think was a Yu-Gi-Oh card. But it sounded like one of those Kiwis players that plays over in the Super League, like Leslie Vinocola or something. So here comes 7 foot tall Maha Velo in the number 1 jersey at 7 feet tall. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he will be the first round pick on that. So then next week we play
the Sharks. So that's going to be a tough one. But just I made a few notes watching the game.
KwaZulu-Natal Sharks.
Big shout out to Chance Nickel-Keezy, 342 metres. So many amazing defensive plays, scored a try. He has been phenomenal. He's not one of these dudes who signs an extension then switches off.
Nah.
He's just such a hard worker.
I'm going to take on Chance. I reckon he looks like he looks like a player in social sport. You know, there's always a player who has no talent at all. Like you'll see at a basketball.
This is a huge take.
Yeah. No. Stay with me here, Warriors fans. Stay with me here. I'll land this. Trust me, I'll land this. It's going to get hairy, but I might land this. When you play on like a social basketball team or a social touch team, there's always one guy who's actually got no skill at all, but he's the best player on the team because he is all heart, all effort. Every time the ball goes loose, he's there. He doesn't make errors, and he's just playing with all ticker. Chance plays like that, but also has talent. See how I landed that back there?
Wow, you saved it at the end there.
Saved it right at the end there, but shit, I was sweating.
So you're describing a guy who like...
it's just all effort. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't knock the ball on.
Yeah, he looks like shit. Like, this is the guy in the social team I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's not very tall or whatever. He's like really sweaty, and then by the end of the game, you look at the Glory League details, and he's almost got a triple-double and like 4 steals.
He's the shortest guy on the court. He's got 15 rebounds. You're like, how?
Right.
Why does he's never played basketball before, and all of a sudden he's the best player on our team?
100%. That is Chance.
Yeah, that is him.
And I know, Manaia, you were the captain of the Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to fullback train.
Yeah.
Have you finally hopped off that train yet?
No, I'm back on it, and here's why.
Fuck's sake.
I think we should move Roger to fullback.
Are you kidding me? Chance has been amazing.
Move Chance to 6.
What? Okay, so get rid of Chanel Harris-Savita, our leading try assist provider.
Yeah.
Why? No, he's playing really well.
With
Why?
Chanel.
The Warriors are 3rd on the table, and you want to fuck with it.
I just want to see Roger at fullback. Man.
I know you do, man. I know you do. You'll see it one day when he's at the Tigers or something. He'll be at fullback. They'll give him $10 million.
Don't say it.
We're officially halfway through the season, by the way. The Warriors are 3rd.
Yes.
How good?
Yes.
I think that, not guarantees, I haven't done the maths on it, but like a top 8 spot is pretty much a foregone conclusion, which is great.
Yes.
Dimitrik Vaimaunga. Actually, I need to look at how his last name is spelt because I've heard so many people say it different. It's Vaimaunga. It is Vaimaunga.
Yep.
Everyone's like Vaimuanga, Valmega.
Valmega's my favourite one.
Vaimaga. So it's Vaimaunga. Dimitrik Vaimaunga.
Take it from us. We know.
We know. Formerly Sifakula.
Knee Sifakula, yeah.
He had his best game, I think.
Yeah, he's great.
He, like, Leka Halasima and him were coming through at the same time, and then Leka took this leap and scored an amazing try down the wing, and then didn't score under the post. And Manaia and Blocker got angry about it. But
speaking of Blocker, Dimitrik and Leka have Blocker in fucking fits.
Oh, is he doesn't know which one's
He
which.
can't tell which is which. Pompey and Leotawa do him in as well.
And I get it,
because
they've got similar lids, similar builds, play similar positions. Ali and Pompey especially, those both centres.
And they're standing next to each other.
But most people can go, oh no, Leka's got yellow hair.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why he's done it.
Yeah, well, it works.
He's thrown Blocker a bone.
Actually, on Blocker as well, I caught him, instead of saying Kaloa Matangi, he just started calling him Matangi. I was like, I know who you're talking about.
Matangi.
And I get it.
Oh, my favourite one is he's landed on Jackson Barlow. Or
Barlow,
yeah. Like he's Ken Barlow from fucking Coronation Street.
Gary Barlow, the singer. Fuck. Just
Gary Manilow.
Barlow.
Hey, while we're looking at the chart, the tables, you may know them as the tables, I think of them as the charts. This is a game that I like to play halfway through the season. Can we play it now? This is something that I do every year.
Yeah, we don't have to take a break first and then do it?
Oh, yeah, we can take a break. We'll take a break. All right,
Not that I'm gassed or anything.
Let's take a quick break. Kezzy's going to get into the oranges, and we'll come back and play a little game that I like to play at halftime of every season. This NRL season, we've got your chance to win a double pass to the One New Zealand Warriors plus a Warriors jersey to wear to the game. Text Warriors in your home city to 3236 to be in to win.
Just on that, this could be a good year to buy just the bog standard home Wars jersey.
Yeah.
It might like 2000 and what was the grand final?
2 or 11
or 11. Those jerseys are worth a lot now.
Yeah.
So maybe think about getting one or into that competition.
That Louis Brown one, I reckon, is going to be worth so much.
Dear Warrior.
In a few years.
I got the training jersey version of that.
Oh, yeah.
They are so cool. But there's no way I'm going to hang it up and not wear it so that it's worth money. I'm going to wear the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Love that shit.
That's right. Anywho, so here's the game that I like to play halfway through every Warriors season, and this is usually out of hurt and spite because we sometimes at this point of the season can either be artificially inflated in our standing on the ladder, or we might have lost a couple of close losses, and we may be lower than I feel like we should be. So to try and make sense of the table, I like to see where we are, have a look at the teams above us, decide whether we're actually better than those teams or not, and then have a look at the teams that are below us and decide whether we're actually better than them or not, as a way of getting your bearing on just how good the Warriors actually are.
That's right, because as a Wars fan, you could be forgiven for thinking, shit, are we up the top of the ladder by a bit of a fluke here?
Exactly.
And
so it's sense checking the table.
That's right, and it also just gives you peace of mind as well. So do we start by looking who's above us with the Bulldogs in first place?
So are we better than the Bulldogs?
No.
Well, I would have said no. I mean, Mitch Barnett changes that. But if you look at, so how did the Bulldogs go?
They had the easiest.
And then they got humped into oblivion by the Dolphins.
So the Bulldogs have had one of the easiest runs all season as well. They've had an amazing draw.
Then 24-20 against the Roosters.
The Roosters are back, by the way.
They won. And they humped the Raiders who beat us. So I feel like they're about to have a dip, the Bulldogs.
They've just got Lockie Galvin. They've got
and how's that gone for the Tigers?
They've got the likes of Matt Burton, Stephen Crichton. They've got a really solid team.
Yeah.
To be fair, if the Warriors played the Bulldogs 10 times, I reckon we'd win 5.
That'd be 5. Yeah.
I'm not as for example, the team below them, the Raiders. They are better than us. They have beaten us twice.
It's too soon.
It's very close, but they are better than us.
It's too soon that second loss is too burned into my memory.
That's right.
Entirely repressed Vegas, but
how about this for a suggestion, Manaia?
Yes.
If the Storm and the Raiders were above us on the table, because I think the Melbourne Storm still will beat us, even though they're having a bit of a rough season.
They just blasted us.
And they always blast us.
They're our bogey team.
So I'd say the two that I am certain are better than us are the Storm when they are clicking, because they're a bit weird at the moment, and the Raiders.
Yes.
The Bulldogs,
I don't know.
I think we're level with almost.
Because all they do is play defense as well. They got some firepower on offense, to be fair.
And they're starting to add more, The
Sharks, look, we'll find out this weekend. I'm not scared of them.
So Sharks at Shark Park, they're 5th on the table. should be an intimidation. It should be an intimidating matchup, and it is. It's going to be a hell of a game. But I'm the same because they are all in or pretty average.
Yeah. And if you look at their strike weapons across the field, they're all Kiwis or Adam Whenua-Blake who played for us last year. I feel like we'll have their number. Mulitalo will get a bit silly at around...
He's actually suspended.
60. Oh, thank God. I don't know what it is about Kiwis coming back to play against the Warriors.
They fire up, eh?
Yeah.
Him and Nas.
Nas, Joe Tapine the other week.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Are we better than the Cowboys?
Yes. Because they're the same. They are either all in or all out.
Yeah. Are we better than the Seagulls? Yes.
Yes, same thing.
Are we better than the Dragons? Yes. And then you go on down the track and you're outside of the top 8. We're better than all of those teams.
The only one that I would circle there is the Roosters, because I do think they only just lost to the Raiders.
Yeah.
The Roosters are a team that I think
They've turned around a little bit.
Yeah, I think they should be like above the Cowboys. They should be 6th.
Sam Walker will be back at some point for them as well. But yeah, I agree with you. So realistically, we think that the Storm and we think that the Raiders are definitely above us.
That's right. So we should be
third
on the table.
And this year, that passes. There have been years where we've been sitting in 6th.
Yes.
And you look at the teams, you're like, yeah, we should be 14th here.
And little things like, oh yeah, we've had 2 buys, they've only had 1. That
Yeah.
sort of shit. Whereas is our second buy coming up?
Yes, yeah, after this one.
So that's the thing, is I think that's our second buy. We haven't had 3. We're doing really well.
That's right.
And all Wars fans just need to pat themselves on the back and go, yes, we are doing well.
It's not a mirage.
No.
It's not a mirage. Here's our schedule coming up. So we've got the Sharks this weekend in Cronula. The next week we've got the bye. Then we have a depleted Panthers side who are coming back from Origin Game 2. That's in Perth.
There's no way. Like, that Cleary will have to play, right? And like Dylan Edwards and Yo. However, it's a 3-day turnaround from Perth to New Zealand.
I think Ivan Cleary said they're not going to play.
He did?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, they're screwed then.
Yeah.
So that's 6 points I'm counting right there.
Yeah, that's right. Plus, then we go into the Broncos. And
Who
then
are hopeless.
Who are hopeless at the moment, getting worse.
They need what we have. They need more grit, more heart. They've got an amazing lineup, like a premiership winning lineup with Payne Haas, Pat Carrigan.
Yeah.
Reece Walsh is back.
Reece
However,
Walsh back this weekend, but they're off their coach, it seems.
they are, and they just need a bit to play with a bit more frickin' money.
Yeah. So then after them, in round 18, we have another bye. Then 19, we start our run of the poo-poo platter of Tigers, Titans, Knights. So we have a golden stretch here.
Are we booking grand final tickets?
I'm booking the tickets now. And look, we never want Mitch Barnett's ACL to blow. But if you looked at the schedule and you said, all right, Mitch Barnett has to do his ACL, when do you want to do it?
When do you want to do it?
You'd want to do it as early as possible so we get him back as soon as possible, but late enough that we still have a good impact. I'd say on the weekend.
I would say last 5 minutes of the grand final.
Yeah.
But no, 100%. Based on what you have just laid out in front of me, not only is this not a mirage, it's more of an Evo. This is Mitsubishi banter.
It's a Lancer.
Because what's coming up is outside of the Sharks, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a classic Wars meltdown against one of those other teams, or they just get up for it.
It'll be the Broncos, I reckon.
But holy shit, 2 buys coming up, a depleted Panthers.
Then we're into like I said, Tigers, Knights, Titans.
Yeah, like for example, I wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers get up in a real defense affair.
Yeah.
Like something like that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm out on the Tigers, but yes. Yeah. So I don't know. This could be a really good run for the Warriors.
Oh hell yeah, let's do it.
I hope that it is.
There were other games at the weekend, by the way, but I was steamed for most of the weekend and only watched the Warriors, and even then had to rewatch it this morning.
Yeah, I watched the Raiders and Roosters and had to check my TAB bet slip to find out whether I'd won, if I'd watched that or not.
That looked like quite a good game, 26-24.
Yeah, I won $200.
Oh wow! What did you punt on?
Mark Nawangani-Tuase, Raiders to score and even points.
Raiders to win and even points.
Raiders to win.
The classic Manukau's trifecta. How awesome is Mark Nawangani-Tuase?
Tremendous.
He is so sick.
He is tremendous.
Like every game, he does something that no one else can do.
Big bastard too. I think that's
Stocky.
an underrated. Yeah.
Like
he's like 6'5", I think.
Interesting looking dude as
he's
well.
7 foot tall.
You know, like
blonde afro. He's Mahavelo.
He's Mahavelo. He has quickly become one of my favorite players.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. All right. Let's take one more quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna place a TAB hunch, and we'll talk a little bit of SuperCoach. All right, just before we place our TAB hunch, we do have your chance to win flights for 2, accommodation, tickets to a Warriors home game, plus $500 spending money with the Mad Monday Try and Pie Fly Off. Text PIE to 3236 to enter, all thanks to 4 and 20 Pies, the ultimate fan food. And I know that there's been a lot of people over the last couple of years who haven't been able to get up to Industrial Penrose to watch a home game. The experience is better than you think it is, no matter how good you think it is. Now they got Lilyworld cranking.
I really want to go.
Just the vibe.
I haven't gone to a game this season and gone to Lilyworld beforehand.
Oh,
I really should do it, because if you guys text through to our show, Keezy, we came up to Auckland, where should we watch the game beforehand? It was like Lilyworld, and if you don't know what it is, it's literally a bar next door to Mount Smart looking down at the ground.
Yeah.
With a giant TV screen, everyone's wearing Waz jerseys, and they'll play the warm-up game on the big screen.
I'll play the game afterwards as well.
Yeah.
It's a little slice of Caxton Street at Mount Smart.
They're just doing things right over there, man.
Oh, they just do it right, mate. All right, so to place our hunch this week, every week we get $100 bonus cash from the TAB. I would like to teach you, the listener at home, my betting strategy that netted me a bit of cash over the weekend. I'm not saying it's always going to come in, but I'll explain the strategy to you. And it is a team to win, which in this instance will be the Warriors, a try scorer, and then the total amount of points to be even. Now, that will only ever be paying about $1 to $1.07. Because basically, unless it goes to golden point, that doesn't come in. And even if it does, there's a chance that someone kicks a 2-point field goal, scores a try, penalty, whatever. What it does, though, is that is a third leg in your multi, which qualifies you for your bonus cash back on the TAB. If you place a 3-leg or more multi on the Warriors games, generally, and double check it before you place it, there'll be a bonus back.
The other thing...
So it gives you 2 bites of the cherry.
The other thing, too, is you want to look, who are we playing against? Are we playing against Daly Cherry Evans, who can slot a field goal? Are we playing Nathan Cleary? We're playing Sharks.
We are playing Nico Hines and Braden Trindle.
He's not very clutch. Trindle is, I would say. But also the Wires can't slot a field goal to save themselves. So...
And do you think... So Mitch Barnett, I think, has directly impacted the line. They are the Warriors, $2.65 to win. I think that's juicy.
I was just about to say, the Sharks are paying, what, $1.48?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That is stupid.
So, look, this week we probably should just get on the Warriors head-to-head, but I've already committed to the gimmick, so I'm sticking with it.
Now, I've got a couple of things to float your way just for us to think about here, Manaia Stewart. So, the two outside... the two wingers for the Sharks involves a Sione Katoa returning for the first time all season on the right wing.
Yep.
Up against Roger, he'll be a bit rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Great player, but he'll be rusty. On the left wing, Mawene Hiroti, who's a mean player as well. I think he's usually a centre.
Yeah. And
sort of fills in the wing and stuff. He's playing one game on the left wing for Ronaldo Mulitalo, and they have scored a lot of tries down that left side, the Sharks. KL, brother. Kuala Lumpur Ero.
Yeah.
Has scored a try in every game he's played or something crazy like that. He has not scored a try this season.
If he's walked out onto a rugby field, he has scored a try.
He has scored a try unless recently...
Last 5 games, he has scored a try every single time.
Every game he's played this season, he has scored a try. So you think the smart bet is KL Ero to score,
yes,
Waz to win even. That is paying $7.67.
Perfect.
Makes perfect sense.
It does. I mean, we're often guilty of a vibe punt here.
Well, I was going to say Fisher Harris to score against AFB, but I would rather go this because it makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, look, if he scored every single time he's laced his boots up this year and he doesn't score this week, you just shake his hand, you know?
Yeah.
And say, bad luck, mate. I'm in financial ruin, but good on you. So I think that's how we play it.
I've just deposited and I've placed the punt. Also, gamble responsibly. R18.
Okay. Thank you. All right, let's talk about a SuperCoach up for grabs. A couple of official 2025 NZ Warriors jerseys, thanks to our mates at Dynasty Sport. These ones could be worth a bit in the future. Use the code 111045 to get involved in our SuperCoach League if you haven't already. Let's just get into our trades, Kezzy. Who are you looking at this week?
What the hell going? Okay,
what the hell?
Who are your 3 fullbacks? I'm assuming you've got 3 with that flex.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah. So as it stands, Ryan Papenhuisen.
Yeah.
I have James Tedesco, who's on the bye this week. I'm probably not going to sell him though.
So you've got the good and Scott Drinkwater.
I had Scott Drinkwater, and I, as it stands at the time of recording this, am going to trade him out.
I know who you're trading to, and I agree that you need this guy. because I've brought him in as well.
Jaden Campbell.
Oh, have you gone Jaden Campbell?
Yeah.
You were just talking out there about getting in Lehi Hopoate.
Yeah, no, I've got him as well.
Okay, good. In the centres.
In the centres. So here's my thinking on Drinkwater, and it's everyone else, if you go and listen to someone who actually knows how to crunch the numbers, will tell you he scores too well, don't bother, he's going to bounce back this week or whatever.
And also that he plays every single game for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Except
His
for one.
break even is about 4 million. I think it's 180.
181.
Not that, I mean, the thing is you don't buy him to make money, but he is about to lose money. And if you think that there's going to be a bit more jiggery pokery in your fullback rotation, you can't really afford to be losing money. I'm still recovering from holding on to Ponga for too long.
I did that, yeah.
And I got on to Drinkwater too late. And so I missed some of those big scores.
So you've had nothing but bad Drinkwater.
I've had nothing but bad Drinkwater.
Wow.
And so, as we said before we come into the studio, I was thinking about drinking ditch water and ditching Drinkwater because the break even's too high. It's too much money sitting on my bench. Also, he's not sitting on my bench, but sitting on my roster. He's one of those guys, and I know this isn't rational at all, and this shouldn't come into it in SuperCoach. It's just not one of my guys.
I also think you don't trust him.
I don't like him.
And because he hasn't scored 100 for you yet, you don't trust him at all.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And I know everyone else is looking at him. They think he's pretty whatever.
Who are you guys? Give us an example. Jaden Campbell?
Jaden Campbell, for sure, is one of my guys. I mean, this isn't going to blow anyone's mind, but Lomax, definitely in there. I've got Munster and Hughes. So my plan is I've brought in Campbell and I've brought in Hopoate. I have binned Drinkwater, as I said. I've binned Rob Toyer, who's out this week.
It's time for him to go.
It is.
I think he might play Origin again. So he's not covering you at all.
Nah, and because there was talk about will Murray Taulangi take his spot.
Has he had a setback, I think?
Yeah, and I don't think he's playing this week. But
That's
anyway,
right.
That's too high level in analysis. I just think at 600k,
Bro, he's peaked.
You're now in Lomax, Garrick, like one of these genuine proven contenders. So
And Lehi, so you've gone for Lehi Hopoate?
yeah, if you're bringing Hopoate in, you're saying I don't trust Turbo to be fit at all. Now,
this is the discussion we had out in the office. Is I agree. So Lehi goes to fullback and is electric and looks amazing. And then once Tom's thigh or whatever is back, Tom goes to fullback. Lehi goes to the left wing. They send so much left, and looks so good that he scores more tries left.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
he is a really good purchase. And I unfortunately did. Oh my god, that's right. I've just remembered. I was steamed, right?
Yeah.
And I was also a bit racist.
Yeah.
Went to bring in Lehi. Who did I bring in?
Lipoi, Hopoi.
Talatau Kola. I literally did a blocker.
I thought you were going to say John Hopoate.
I did a blocker. Got two dudes mixed up.
Oh, this Valmega is pretty good.
And then I was like watching the game and I was like, shit, he's going mean. I'll check my score. And like, Kola was on 30. And I was like, why do I have Kola?
Who the fuck?
He ended up scoring a try and getting 60 or something, so I've accidentally had to use another trade. So I missed out on Lehi's 107 from the weekend.
Yeah.
But I just think he is a gun. He's so far, so skillful, and Manly have gone, wow, this dude's legit.
Yeah.
And he'll be scoring a lot of tries regardless where he plays.
Here's a cautionary tale if you are going to sell Toya. And it's in the form of...
A limerick.
Yes. There once was a man named Savelio Tamale. And I traded him away and he scored 98. And I traded in some numpty who scored 14 or something.
Who did you bring in?
No, I brought Lomax in, which is still the right trade.
Yeah.
But Lomax scored 60 and Tamale scored 98. Once you trade them out, you've kind of got to try not to look at their score.
Well, they're always going to go big when you trade them out, and the dude you bring in is always going to go low. It's just how fantasy works.
But the other one I brought in was Kalor Matangi, who I think everyone brought in last week.
Yeah, I had him last week. He's one of my dudes.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Last season, it's when he shifts to the front row.
Yeah.
He is insane. He turns into Terrell May / Aaron Clark. He just is a guy that gets through so much work.
Yeah.
Scored 109, got a meat pie.
I've got Horsburgh, and chances are there's a lot of buzz about him getting, a lot of buzz Rothfield about him getting picked up for Origin.
Yeah. They need a bit of Horsburgh, a bit of grit in there.
But he is playing this week, so I think I'm going to save the trade and just see if he I don't know, has something to prove this weekend.
Well, he's not ruining your team in any way, shape, or form, is he? So my strategy this year too is to, even though the buys are coming up, anyone I bring in from now on, I want them to be in my team at the end of the season. I don't want to bring in a guy knowing I have to trade him away in 5 rounds or something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and keep Nathan Cleary. I'm going to try and keep Munster, Payne Haas, Tino, all these people who won't play a lot of games, but you want at the end of the season, because I don't want to get to the end of the season. I will have burnt through all my trades and be missing out on all the big guns.
Yeah.
But this week I jumped on the turbo.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I did, because I had Ponga.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know who's my ticket out of this bullshit? Turbo. And he was like, hey, actually, I've got my own bullshit going on, Luke. And so I went across to Turbo and I was like, fuck. So he's been a disaster. He's been named not to start again. And after watching the wires this morning, I used my last boost, brought in Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah, nice.
Just to be like, he's going to save my season. And then looked at how many games he's going to play and then retraded him back out again and just said, look, just wait till after Origin.
I know, but you want him so bad because you see it and you're like... Also, he had one of those games that didn't like, that was a 300-point fantasy game, what I watched in that second half, and he scored 101 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 117, and you're right. After watching that, you're like, this dude has just broken the record for fantasy scoring, but he didn't. A little thing, though, which I've decided to do is, one of my guys has always been Cody Walker.
Yeah.
I brought him in a few weeks ago, just downgraded someone to free up some. I think I got rid of Jaden Campbell when he got injured. Downgraded to Cody Walker, who's been playing like ass. He's like 300 grand. He's 5'8" and half back. He's just been sitting there for about 5 weeks now. He's finally back this week, and I am quite high on another one of my guys is Alex Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm quite high on the Rabbitohs going on a run, and I have bought in the incredibly old left edge of the Rabbitohs. I've freed up some cash by going Toya to Alex Johnson. I think that try-scoring record, he got a hat-trick at the weekend.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
He looked pretty quick. He smoked the Wars when he got that intercept.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to back in the Rabbitohs to get that left side clicking, Cody Walker getting try assist. It'll probably all end in tears, like my entire season has. It has been a disaster.
Yeah.
But I'm going all in on the bunnies.
And tears of the quad muscle.
Yeah.
All right.
And captaining Terrell May, vice captain Pappenhausen. Don't overthink it.
And that's every week. Sit and forget.
Don't overthink it. Don't do that every week.
This week he only scored 80, and I was like a little bit disappointed with that. And I'm like, well, what else? Yeah. Then I was like, well, then what else? Who else was I going to captain? Kaloa Matangi, who only scored 20 points more. Don't overthink it.
78, 123, 72, 79, 118, 102, 83. Those are his last 7 scores.
Yeah.
He's a freak. Captain him, and then throw the dice with a fullback or something.
Yeah. Whoever the earliest fullback is that you think might turn up, go him, which is usually Pappy. All right, that'll do us for today. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Enjoy your weekend watching Rugby League, and we'll see you next week for another episode.
See ya.
Wake.